old Disney cartoons, where it's like, as an example, somebody goes and sits down on the chair, like someone who's overweight sits down on the chair, and then the chair screams, "Get the fuck off of me!" Remember that?
Yeah, my chairs be doing that all the time. I hear them.
But the point is that these inanimate objects and things like react to being poked or tickled or sat on or stepped on or something like
Honey,
that.
can we get music?
And you have to take that same kind of approach in magic, because creativity and inspiration and
Baby,
imagination is like the portal for that. What?
can we get music?
Yes. It's time for music. I need to put music on. Hold on.
That's crazy to think subliminally that we've been fed that kind of stuff our whole lives. And as children, you don't even think to connect it because you don't know what animism is term-wise as a child. That's fascinating. So true.
You will benefit that you are a child. Like, you may be more connected before people pound ideas in your head that that things don't exist.
You are.
You get that plus side back, but you also get the fact that you don't know anything.
Thank you, honey. Thank you. Jojo, really? You already got sent to your cage today.
So anyway, the only way to regain that childlike view of the universe is literally you have to shift up. Because in order to be a shaman or a spiritista or a good psychic medium, a really good witch, there's something called suspension of disbelief. There is a mechanism in your brain that you have to switch on, which is called suspension of disbelief. Because if you do not believe that what you're doing is true, you are not going to get the result that you want. And that's the foundation of all chaos. Yeah, whatever it is you're doing, you have to believe 100% that this thing that's happening in your brain is true. They did a study, a scientific study, where they took people and they put plugs on their head. Like they did brain scans and brain tests on people. And what they would do is they would sit somebody down and they would show them a picture of something, or they would make them hold something in their hand, like an apple, or some other three-dimensional object. And the person would sit and they would hold the object and they would examine it. And the scientists would look at the brain, and different parts of the brain would light up, depending on what the person was doing or looking at. Then what they did was they told those people they took away the object of the picture and they told the people to imagine what they just saw. Imagine the picture you just saw, or imagine what you just touched or what you just felt. What they found out was the same parts of the brain lit up, whether the object was present or not present. So that means that the physical universe, like talking about your physical brain as a receptor for whatever your mind, cannot tell the difference between what is real and what is imagined. Which is why the physical universe can be affected by your thoughts, your words, your actions, your feelings. We live in a feeling universe. So you might have the intention of casting a spell to make that bitch fall down the stairs because she's her boyfriend sideways. But if you don't have the feeling behind it, that spell might not necessarily work. You see? So that's why when you're going to do a baneful spell, you got to draw as much anger, as much hatred, as much volatile energies as possible. You got to be angry when you cast black magic. When you're going to take somebody out, you got to be angry. You got to pull those energies together.
Like, don't. I see this all the time on TikTok where they cleanse before they do the curse. If you're gonna cleanse, do it after, not before the curse. You want that energy? Like, I see it all the time.
Well, yeah, like which she likes that negative energy to come in. She uses it. That really stuck with me when I heard her say that. I was like, damn, that's a fucking good point.
That's why when That's why when people come for me, they think it's like gonna destroy me. It doesn't. It energizes me. Every time somebody wants to come to me and come at me and create problems and do all this stuff and throw shit at me, it only makes me crazier. It only makes me more wild. It only makes me foam at the mouth. It only makes me angrier. And then my rage, when it gets to a certain level, is gonna explode. And then the electricity is going to go out in my house, and then I'm going to start like lighting candles and summoning all of the spirits, and all the shit breaks loose. But the point is that some of us just thrive on, I don't want to say thrive on, I said that last night, thrive on negative energy. It's not thriving on negative energy. It's just some of us work better with darker energies than others. That's all.
What I do is use a filter. So I put it, I make it so where it's kind of like an energy trap. So I might use a warning, but then I have an energy trap. So if someone's more sneaky, it goes into that, and then it gets it's like a big smoking words. And then I take energy from there. Because smoking words will make it, better energy. So I don't really do real well with negative energy, but I can convert it. So I use that as my converter, and then I use that as power-based spell. So I know someone pissed at me. I'm like, well, send it my way. I want it.
I learned about how to use what would be considered dark or negative energy in a positive way through my experiences practicing BDSM, working as a sex worker, and working with sexual energy. Because whether you guys know it or not, sexual energy and spiritual energy is the same energy. Spiritual energy and sexual energy is the same energy. That's why sex magic is so dangerous.
I mean, I could be good with negative energy because I used to practice psychic vampirism, but I don't do that as much. So I want to learn about psychic vampirism, but I really do the work. So, because, I don't know.
We'll see that.
Most of sex magic is not about a partner.
Oh yes, and sex magic is not about having sex with a partner either. It's about the energy that's raised in the way the energy is directed and released. So, as an example, the best way to get into sex magic if you're really interested in doing sex magic is masturbation. And masturbation for the purpose of healing and feeling your chakras and your aura and the energy that's around you. Waiting for everyone to be completely gone, on vacation or away, to be able to do a full-blown ritual for self-pleasure and self-healing, where you turn off all the lights in your house, you light the candles, you burn the incense, you prepare the bed, you sprinkle the rose petals, you give yourself a hot bath, you pull out all of your toys or your lotions or whatever, and your entire mind frame is in healing mode and also in self-healing mode. Sexual trauma survivors, people who have been raped, people who have been sexually molested, and other people who have been sexually violated.
No, you can hear him. He's over on the Discord for students.
Self-love.
YouTube and I can hear him talking in there.
Huh? Oh, yeah. If you're not actively talking or asking a question, put yourself on mute, please. So the point is that if people who have had sexual trauma would really benefit from sex magic, just like witchcraft helps people resolve religious
But thank you for
trauma,
letting me
because
know.
it's the ability to take control of your life. It's the ability to take control of your life emotionally, mentally, spiritually, physically. And so like a great way to break into sex magic would be to go into a relaxing meditative state on your bed where you're relaxed, where you can breathe, where you can play some light yoga music in the background or shamanic drumming or something else that's going to put you in a visionary state. Because being a shaman, a sexual shaman, or a cannabis shaman, or a mushroom shaman, or a core shaman, means being able to go into a visionary state. And so if you're working with energy and you manipulate energy, then using masturbation as a foundation for understanding your physical body and your physical energy will revolutionize your practice. People who are sexual prudes or don't want to touch themselves are not going to get very far when it comes to energy work, because they don't realize that that's the energy that they're working with.
Well, yeah, you're kind of like setting the mood. Like even with psychedelics, if you're trying to get a pleasant trip, you gotta make your surroundings pleasant before you do it. Otherwise, you're gonna get in a bad place. Mentally, you're gonna be in a bad place. And and then you're not going to get the benefits of those, which can help you with depression and stuff when you're doing that. But you also want control, so that's
Yeah, and being able to, and it's a safe space in order to be able to
Damn, JoJo, you
master
scared the
and
shit out
control
of me.
over your feelings, over your body. Because remember, trauma is stored in your nervous system. So,
which is why we've heard poor people always talk about shadow work, but they don't bring up that you should also talk to a therapist if you got issues you need to work
we're
out.
not going to talk about shadow work. I don't want to have anything to do with shadow. You guys know I hate shadow work. That's a bunch of shit to me.
I'm bringing up more the therapy than the shadow work because people just came up with that cool, like, I don't know.
I'll tell you what shadow work is on TikTok. Shadow work is a mishmash of new age practitioners who have written a couple of books about psychology and therapy, mixed it with a little bit of witchcraft and self-help and journaling, and they think that this is shadow work. If you're going to do real shadow work, you have to find a therapist, and you need to work with a therapist through your shadow stuff. Because if you don't know what you're doing, it's like opening up a basement door, going down, locking the door behind you, throwing away the key, and wandering around in the dark in the basement, banging around by yourself. You don't know what's down there until you know what's down there, and you're working with very volatile energies. Remember, the more when we talk about dangerous magic or magic that can harm someone, we're talking about conjuring and working with energies that are difficult to keep under control. Do you understand? So sex magic has been considered dangerous to a lot of people because those energies are volatile. Some of them are hostile. They're reactive. They're visceral responses. They're things that you might not necessarily control. As an example, the first time I got spanked, I thought I was going to like it. And I ended up having a motherfucking meltdown where I cried for an hour and couldn't stop. Because I didn't realize by getting my ass slapped that it was going to activate all kinds of trauma release in my root chakra. You understand what I'm saying? So when you're playing with these kinds of things, you don't know what you're going to get until you know. Until it actually happens. So that's why they're considered dangerous and taboo, and people shouldn't do them because they're dangerous and you can hurt yourself and stuff. It's because you're working with energies that are not necessarily controllable, which is why you want to start slow. And it could be that when you're masturbating in a self-pleasuring session, a tantric self-pleasuring session, in a ritual space environment, you might be playing with yourself and all of a sudden a memory comes back. Wow, it comes back from like childhood or some kind of relationship or some other kind of thing. And it might not have anything to do with sex at all. It might be like the way your old boyfriend or your ex-husband talked nasty to you. And you realize that you hit some kind of nerve. And that by hitting that specific space, you just unlocked like a negative feeling, a negative emotion, something that's been stuck there that needs to be released. You know what I'm saying? So it can be very, very healing. And whenever you go to do sex magic, you don't do it. You shouldn't do sex magic for the purpose of orgasm. If you're starting out, you need to do sex magic for the purpose of exploring the erotic energy in your body. Because actually, learning how to practice sex magic safely with yourself and a partner, manipulating energy, should be the first thing people do for a very, very long time before they ever try to come a spell into existence. It's a whole different level of fuckery. And Jennifer's over here laughing. It's a whole different level of fuckery when you're trying to cast a spell and have sex, opposed to just focusing on yourself and your erotic energy and making your own spiritual practice better because you have a better understanding of your energy. Does that make sense? I didn't mean for this to turn into a lecture and teaching about sex magic, but it is. So, questions?
I have a question, but it goes back to what you were talking about with people visualizing the 3D object and trying to see it in their brain. For people that have aphantasia, where you know you don't see anything.
I have the answer for that.
I'm one of those people. meditations, like a guided meditation where they want you to visualize something, I see it in a different place. I don't see like a picture or a video. It's almost like I don't know where it's coming from, but I see something. And I was wondering, like, what would that place be if it's not visually in my eyes?
Can I come answer?
Yes. So Jennifer wants to answer that, but I'm going to tell everybody, if you are not actively speaking or asking questions, turn your microphone off. We don't want to hear the shit that's going on in the background in your house. So if you're not talking, turn off your microphone.
Hey, you been there. Okay, so I'm gonna ask you the question about where does what you see come from when you have aphantasia. Okay, they found. Excuse me, I ain't got no teeth in. So they found this out from people who were blinded late in life. Okay, so and when I say that, I mean where the optic nerve goes to the brain. That's the part that is destroyed. So the eyes function. The eyes receive the information, but it never makes it to the occipital lobe. Well, what they found is, if they throw something towards this person, they can still get it out of the way. So what your brain does is it's still getting the signal, and when your brain realizes that it cannot get it to the occipital lobes, it sends it to an area above the ears, above the hearing lobe. And this is one of the senses that they can't put a name on. So your brain is getting that visual answer. It's just not, the TV screen isn't working. And so that part of your brain is not made to make pictures. So it will do its best impression of an image. So people with aphantasia, sometimes when they just see, instead of it just being black when their eyes are closed, sometimes they see colors fluctuating. Sometimes they see sound. If you're aphantasia, you probably know what I'm talking about. So your brain will process the information, and whatever it is that you see, that is legitimate. It's kind of like putting an English command into a computer using a keyboard that's in Chinese. So your brain does the best job that it can to interpret an image, even though its job isn't the occipital lobe. Does that make sense? Yeah, the brain, and that's why you don't see it, because a different part of the brain is registering and trying its damnedest with the equipment that it has to make an image. So anyway, I found that really fucking interesting, so that's why I came by to answer that question.
Yes.
Okay.
Fascinating. Okay, above the ears.
Yep.
I don't know
Yeah,
what you
right.
guys
I did a shamanic meditation the other day, and it said
I'm
it
back.
took you to the Akashic field, but it had you visualize an ancient forest. And like I can, with my eyes open, I can still recall what I
Okay,
saw
bro.
in that
We're gonna
meditation.
explain like that in my life.
But like I said, it's like a weird, fucked up movie.
That's why we want to reiterate to everyone that there is no right and wrong way to practice. There is no right or wrong way to interpret the messages that you're getting psychically. I tell this to people all the time. People get readings from me, and they ask me, hey. People get readings from me and ask all the time, well, I don't know, I don't understand what I'm seeing, or I don't understand if I'm getting messages, like I'm praying to my spirits or I'm talking to my spirits, but I don't know if they're hearing me because I don't know if I'm getting any answers or what. And the thing is that everyone has psychic abilities. Every single person, doesn't matter who they are, has psychic abilities that can be tapped into, can be cultivated and improved on. Some people are dreamers. They get all their psychic information through their dreams. Some people are empaths, are highly empathic. They get all of the psychic information they need through their feelings, from picking up on other people's feelings. Then you have the clairs, the clairvoyance, their audio, their audification, their sentience, and all of those. You know, everyone has a different level of perception, and everybody's subjective experience is equally
Jojo, you
Your
going off all by
experiences are
yourself?
valid. I'm here to validate
What?
whatever experiences you feel like you're having. I do not doubt that you're having those experiences, okay? Because you can take 20 people and put them all in a room and give them all DMT, or give them magic mushrooms, or give them some mama ayahuasca, and every single one of those motherfuckers can trip and vomit and piss on themselves and shit on themselves for 8 hours, because that's what you do when you do mama ayahuasca. You know, these people are purging themselves. Couldn't do it. Refuse. But the point is mama ayahuasca shows up and it talks to all of those people, but they all experience that spiritual experience differently. Even in a collective environment, they're still experiencing it differently. And then when everybody calms down and everybody finishes tripping and everybody comes back to, you know, their sane state of mind, they can sit around and intellectually discuss the things that they saw, felt, heard during the trip. And every single one of those experiences is 100% valid. It's the same thing if you and 3 friends went out to a haunted forest and you guys decided that you want to do a Blair Witch hunt, and someone's holding the flashlight, and someone's holding the recording device, and someone's holding the cross or whatever it is, and you guys go out there and all of a sudden shit starts getting really freaky and everybody freaks out and everybody runs home. Somebody might say, well, I saw this. Somebody might say, well, I didn't see that, but I heard this. And so every single person, even though you're having a shared spiritual experience, is going to have a different experience. And every single one of those experiences is valid. So that's why I tell people to keep a journal. If you want to get closer to your spirit, keep a journal beside your bed at night. And at the end of your day, do a review of your day and write down in your journal anytime you feel like your spirits gave you a message that day. Doesn't matter what it is. You could be sitting in a fucking 7-Eleven parking lot and a beer can rolls by, you know, on the ground. If you feel that your spirits are giving you a message through that beer can, write it down. Like there is no experience
What are you doing, Jojo?
that can be reflective of some kind of message that you're getting from your spirit.
You talking about it? It's so funny.
Excuse me?
Whether the same areas would light up, because that's like the clair of just knowing, when you just know something.
Yeah.
It makes me wonder whether that same area of the brain would light up.
See if you can see if there's a study on that.
Yeah, that would absolutely. Yeah, I can't say it.
There is, hello, excuse me, can I help you? I don't have any Rice Krispie treats for you. Do you love me? I have no idea what you want.
Huh?
Probably attention.
I know, right? What kind of sign? What are you trying to tell me?
Ask him, do you want PETS? PETS. Ask him that.
Do you want pets?
He just want pets.
Do you want pets? He didn't react to that.
POTTY.
Do you need to potty? Do you need to go potty?
No, you're being silly, Bob.
Oh, Bob. Sit down, Bob. Sit down. Hi. Oh, now the other one's over here. Oh, now they're both on you. I'm sorry. I'm using my little friends. My new little friends. Drop.
They ain't little.
My kilt is going to smell like Bob. So anyway, welcome everybody.
It's frankincense.
This is your first night hanging out in Discord. You can sit there and be quiet, listen, or you can broadcast yourself, or you don't have stalker or a lurker, you're absolutely welcome to. We like stalkers and lurkers.
We do.
Oh yeah. I can't hear you. Wait, hold on. Who was talking a minute ago?
Users tend to tap on their name in the chat and adjust their personal volume in the chat.
Who was talking? Was that Pow Pow?
Flush feather, I want to say.
Oh. Oh my gosh, I can actually scroll down and see more people in this room. There's
Wow.
more people in this room than I thought.
Wow.
Plush, is that you?
Yes, that's me. Sorry.
Oh, I can hear you now.
I have headphones in and they like don't have a microphone.
Oh no, it's fine. No, we can hear you fine now. What's up?
I have a question about sex magic.
Yes.
So I've been on antidepressants for so long, and there's a type of antidepressant that don't I don't know how to explain this.
Kill your sex drive and your sensitivity. Yeah.
Well, just the sensitivity. I still have a massive sex drive because I'm on testosterone.
Does it kill your, can you orgasm?
Mhm.
I have never been able to. I've been on these antidepressants since I was like 12.
I had to teach myself how to do that.
Yes, I've never been able to, and I have awful sensitivity.
Like bad sensitivity, like unpleasurable.
Like, I just cannot. Oh god, I feel
No, we will help you in any way we possibly can.
AFAB or
No
AMAB?
judgments at all.
nothing feels like it should.
AFAB or AMAB?
Okay, hold on. My wife should answer this question. Where are the power here? Because Jennifer has talked on this subject before about sensitivity, and hold on. Hold on, people. We're gonna get fresh coffee.
The person that was talking said you're on testosterone? Yes?
That would be me.
Oh, okay.
Hello.
So you were a fab?
Yes.
Alright.
Yes,
So,
I am.
well, first of all, this is something that you want to discuss in a public forum. I don't have a problem with it, but it's up to you.
Let me turn my camera off because it's making my wife, I bet.
Okay.
Hello?
Yeah. So are you okay talking about it in this forum?
Sorry, my wife, I went out when you were talking. Can you please repeat what you said? I'm so sorry.
Are you okay with talking about it in this forum?
Oh, yes, I am.
Okay, so the first thing I want to ask you is, do you have severe or fairly severe body dysmorphia?
No, I don't.
Okay, good. So I had this problem. I've been on medications for about 24 years now. And what you have to do, and I'm going to give you the down and dirty, I don't care who it is that you fantasize about. I don't care who it is. I literally one day decided to go on a mission because I can't be off my head medications, and I was not going to go through life without busting a nut. Okay, that was not going to happen. So, literally, the first night I played with myself, and I would get so close. When I first started, there was no sensitivity. Right? Don't freak out. You literally, it took me 3 or 4 nights in a row to get myself to finally go, because it's a rewiring. You're literally physically rewiring, growing a new neural pathway from the sensations from your genitalia to the little switch that allows you to have an orgasm. So, and another thing is wait till you get physically tired. So in other words, when you're down to get this and fix this, go exercise on purpose shortly before bed. Even though like me, I fucking hate exercise. Go do it on purpose shortly before bed. Take a hot bath, to use some lavender soap or whatever, because you want to be genuinely tired before you settle down. And then you're going to have to experiment with whether you can do it just manually, whether it's better with a toy, whether you need something out and something in. You have to play around in order to get your sensation to cut on. Are you still there? Where'd it go? I don't want to keep going. I don't want to keep going if you're not
I
here.
accidentally muted myself. I'm so sorry.
No, that's okay, but you're here. You're hearing what I'm saying, right?
I'm still here.
Okay. So now you can mute yourself, that's fine. I don't care what you have to find that will get you turned on and get your sensation to come back. You're not going to be able to come the first time you get your sensation back. So I did this process over 3 or 4 days. It might take you less days. It might take you longer days. But one thing, and this is so funny, y'all, I got to get close to the screen because you're really going to laugh. Okay. So when it's time to flick the bean and get off, okay, and you're new to this, I'm going to show you what you do with your eyes, but they're closed. And this sounds ridiculous, and I look like a Fruit Loop, but trust me when I tell you that.
Oh, I'll show them the boy version of that.
Okay? So when you're relaxing and you're trying to focus in order to break through this barrier, okay, you're going to look, when your eyes are closed, you're going to cross your eyes and look up. Like pretend that you actually have a third eye, a bendy on your head. Okay? And you're going to look up and in, but your eyes are closed. Okay, so it looks like that, but your eyes are closed. When I tell you that you need to do this, I'm not just saying I want you to look funny. Do what I'm telling you, okay?
Yeah, look at your third eye.
You are literally crossing your eyes up at your third eye. Now, I don't know the exact reason that this area does what it does. I know that it's there. I don't subscribe to the pineal gland thing and all that. But when I tell you to do that, it's not a joke. I don't care how ridiculous it looks. Just cut the lights off so you can't see yourself. And that will help you cross that line. It's also good for people who have problems meditating to do that. You're literally looking up there with your eyes closed. It's almost like...
Problems meditating. Thank you. That is very useful.
Yeah, it's almost like it allows you to zoom into yourself. So it allows you to focus inwardly. So when you're working on a non-tangible aspect of yourself, such as, I'm not going to go my whole life without coming, that shit's not okay, I got to go around the medicine. When you look up and cross your eyes into your third eye while your things are closed, and mark my words when I tell you, by your third or fourth try, you're going to go. And then you're going to be like, hallelujah, because you finally got to go. And you will be able, it won't be an issue for you to do it after that. You got to get through that first one. Like, my poor Clint was ready to hang it up by the time I finally went. It was like, bitch, if you touch me one more time. But I just kept on. Get you a lot of lube so it doesn't get mad. And do that. That's literally like an assignment for yourself that you're going to literally do on purpose every night until you get it to pop. So does that clear it up?
Yes, thank you. That helps a lot.
All right. Who is this beautiful person right here with the who looks like you're Native American? They're smiling right now. Who is that? Yeah, who are you? Oh, hey, you should. Yes, okay. I love your. Oh, whoa, honey, Grant looks just like my dad in this picture. Hey, David. Yeah, Grant, you put your picture back up there right now. seen, Grant? Put your picture back up.
Nah, y'all brought me out
Grant,
here.
there.
Show me that shit. Oh my god.
Really?
Yeah.
Who do I look like?
My father.
My pawpaw.
Wow.
Just in that.
That's
I
insane.
gotta take.
You'll have to send me a picture.
Is this my phone or your phone? Take a screenshot. I got to show my mom. That is an awesome thing. That's crazy.
Genealogy. We have to talk family history sometime.
Yeah, I have a lot of mine on the. I'll give you access to my ancestry tree.
Because I could probably extend it. Because I've done the same thing. So I've done the same thing for Ryan. Ryan and I are descended from at least 5 sets of common great grandparents. And he's a double cousin to my own children through their mother.
That's insane.
But this is crazy. It's like he's talking. This is fantastic.
I do lots. I keep converting friends into cousins. And of course, Ryan's not the only witch in my family, the only living witch in my family tree. I have
I didn't
others.
notice that when you saw it grow up.
So,
No, it's the angle right now.
You might not want to do that family tree because Misfit and Ryan.
I definitely.
It wouldn't matter if we were related or not at this point.
I know.
We could find out we were like first cousins and we'd be like, it's too fucking late now.
No, I don't know all my first cousins, and I don't know all my second cousins, and
He's
we're
my
not that
brother.
close, but I have a cousin in Boston who's a
Come here, I
witch.
gotta go back over there.
I'm not like he gets the big fancy robes and cane and the stuff. I'm not sure what his discipline is, but
I'll give him access
he's
to
my
my
ninth cousin and
ancestry.com.
10th double cousin, and I was just thinking, like I did some new selfies.
Sorry, I'm back.
I see, even though he's like a ninth cousin and a 10th double cousin, we look.
Sorry, I abandoned you. I'm back.
Semi-related, you look like a more gritty version of my grandfather.
Aw. Grant.
Who's that?
Grandfather, that made me kind of sad. I miss him.
Dude, that was awesome. That was like my dad was talking from the grave.
See, I had an eighth grandmother who was executed for witchcraft, and this is like 10 years before the Salem witch trials. I have a lot of connections to the Salem
This is
witch
pine
trials
bark.
because I had cousins that
Pine
were-
bark.
They were the prosecutors, the persecutors, the promoters, and the victims. I covered the whole range of the Salem witch trials. And I said, I know besides Brian is my cousin, I have at least one other living witch, and it wouldn't surprise me to find out there's more. So
Grant.
I'm the practical side of ancestry. You know, I believe that when you find someone, you are awakening them in some way. You know, of course, I'm basically just taking back off of someone else's research, but I think anytime you find someone in your family tree that's passed on, that you're just one more person who knows that they existed, and that awakens them just a little bit more.
Oh, that's a neat concept. I didn't think about that.
You're everybody's granddaddy and daddy, Grant. You are the official daddy.
Yeah, but picture.
Don't be daddy. I mean, yeah, I know I'm old enough to be your daddy. Well, actually, Ryan's daddy is older than me, but still, I'm old enough to be Ryan's daddy. I don't want to be granddaddy.
No,
For the younger witches.
that's crazy how much you look like my
Yeah,
dad.
definitely. I think, because I was been looking at, the new witches coming in, and I think I'm the oldest one in this group. I was born in 1947,
So if there's anybody out there born in the 40s, let me know. Okay,
You're so funny, Grant.
I love Grant. He's such a good soul.
So, yay. And look, I can scroll down and see there's more people here. Thank you for coming, everybody. Did we complete everything about this whole sex magic situation? Did you guys?
Yeah, I finished up.
I had a question, Ryan.
Yeah. Hey, what's up?
So doing, I'm good. But my question was, so from doing research, I found this one thing. It was involving Kundalini energy, and it was referred to as unlocking. Like you unlock your energy with another person. So it's like you spiral your energy around your root chakra and pull it up through the rest of your chakras, up through your crown. And it's supposed to be like this huge awakening, and then you draw it back down into yourself. I wasn't sure if that was like a legit thing or
All right, so
that's something that was more new age.
no, it's legit, and let me tell you, it's Kundalini yoga.
You better be ready.
It's a specific kind of yoga practice, and I'm going to tell you about Kundalini yoga. Let's talk about
I'd
yoga.
like to learn that.
Let's talk about yoga for a second. I actually have
You
some
think you want to be woke?
You think you want to be woke, right? Until you get woke and you're like,
Yeah.
shut everything back down.
It's too late. No going back on that.
I think that was an awakening for years upon years. I don't think it ever stops.
No, it doesn't actually. And what people who wake up realize is that people, when they first wake up, they're like, I'm awake. And then later you're like, fuck, I thought I was awake. And then 5 times later, like, wait a minute, there's more awakenings? You mean there's more? I thought that I got here the first, and people don't realize that the spiritual awakening process is an ongoing process that goes on your entire life. And every life, and every previous life, and next life that you incarnate, it's all a process. So anyone who's in a big hurry to get anywhere isn't going to be very satisfied, at the end of the game. So there was a man, now my Kundalini yoga master that I train under is named Mahan Kalsa Singh. Mahan Kalsa Singh is an older gentleman, he was in his late 70s, and he's a sex worker. He's like an 80-year-old sex worker in Kundalini yoga.
Yeah.
And I met him at a men's retreat called Men's Eros Spirit Camp at Easton Mountain in upstate New York. I went to a week-long men's retreat that had all kinds of, it was called Eros Spirit Camp. So it was everything about Eros and their sexuality and sensuality and eroticism and all of it. It was a place I got spanked for the first time. And basically, Mahan Kalsa, he lived in an ashram for 40 years. He had a wife, he has children, he's got grandchildren and great-grandchildren, but I think at the age of 70, he came out of the closet. He was like, I'm sorry, I'm gay, I just need to live my life. So he's very inspirational, but he actually studied directly underneath Yogi Bhajan. And if you guys don't know who Yogi Bhajan is, you should. Yogi Bhajan is a very famous yogi and Sikh that came over in the 1950s and 60s in the United States when there was a whole bunch of other yogis that came over that became popular, the one that was the guru of the Beatles. The Beatles made yoga very popular, Vinyasa yoga, transcendental meditation very popular. But Kundalini yoga is a very physical yoga. It works on the physical body. It is Kundalini yoga.
I forgot
is
something.
Dangerous because you are actually working with your spine and your nervous system.
Damn it.
And your glandular system, your endocrine system, and your circulatory system. People don't know this, but it's a tantra.
This brand doesn't have added chemicals.
Which is what people practice at the YMCA, or you say, what's Hatha yoga? Where you see people doing all of these elaborate stretches and things like that. Hatha yoga is actually a tantra yoga. It comes under the branch of tantric yoga. And Hatha yoga is a physical yoga, and there's many different kinds of physical yogas to do. And the Kundalini yoga process is awakening the energy of the body and the spiritual body through the chakras, through the spine. but this is a very physical practice. And I would say if you really want to jump into understanding Kundalini energy, look at Yogi Bhajan and some of the books of Yogi Bhajan, and also there's one specific book that is safe for anyone to practice. Start doing some beginner Kundalini yoga exercises to awaken the spine and awaken the energy body. And I'm going to pull it up right now. It's on my Kindle. For one thing, if you guys want some book references on great chakra books, I can go ahead and give that to you right now. I'm looking at this Kundalini yoga. So, great book, instructional book, by a student of Yogi Bhajan. Kundalini yoga is used a lot to help people who are processing through trauma. And so there's why the fuck won't this open the way I want it to?
Anger management.
Hold on. So the first book I would recommend that anybody buys on Kundalini yoga that actually wants to do the breath work and the songs and the physical exercises and disciplines is called Transitions to a Heart-Centered World. Transitions to a Heart-Centered World, and that is written by with Kundalini Yoga and Meditations of Yogi Bhajan by Guru Ratana, Rattanaphd. Guru Ratana has written several different books like this, and this is a spiral manual. Transitions to a Heart-Centered World. That's a great book. The other book I would recommend on Kundalini Yoga is called, and I'm just giving you recommendations based on the people I have studied under, okay, my practices. The Kundalini Yoga Meditation Handbook for Mental Health Sacred Therapies by David Shanoff Khalsa. So the book looks like this. Shit. You know, fuck this. I'm going to screenshot the cover of the book and I'm going to post it in the Discord. I don't know why I didn't do that before. I'm going to
Right, Jojo?
the cover and put this in the witchy books section right now. And I'm going to say my book recommendation for Kundalini Yoga. But if you're interested in understanding Kundalini and how to use it therapeutically, those are the first two books you need to get. I read a lot of books.
Jojo.
I do nothing but read books, actually. That's why I'm always dropping a lot of mad book references in all my readings.
Ryan, I have a question.
Yes.
Has to do with
Turn off your microphone if you are not actively speaking so that we don't hear your child or anything else in the background while we're trying to talk. Thank you.
my children.
Oh, those are your children?
Right,
Just reminding everybody, I'm not trying to be a cunt. I'm just telling everybody to pay attention to your microphone. Go ahead.
Okay, so my question is about meditation. Is it common to feel your whole body like whooshing around on the inside when you're trying to meditate?
Yeah.
Because I feel like I'm almost like not floating, but everything starts moving around in this like energetic feeling, and I don't know if that's normal or it's just an odd thing. I didn't know if that has.
What the fuck is that noise?
You will feel all kinds of sensations when you actually sit down and meditate. There are some people that can't meditate. I meet people that I give readings to that
Oh, that's Jada's
I
dog.
cannot sit down. I cannot sit down to meditate. It is impossible for me.
I will vibrate sometimes. I can feel my muscles vibrating. That's that flow of energy you're feeling.
Yeah, it's all energy. Yeah, that's completely natural. Another natural thing to happen with meditation is if you sit long enough and you still your mind and you're very zoned in, you will start experiencing.
Oh, shut up, Pat.
You will start experiencing psychic phenomena. Like you might see hallucinations, you might see visions, you might hear voices, you might start experiencing that paranormal realm that is around you. And when you start experiencing those things, that's when you don't freak out. That's where you persist with your practice and you continue on.
I didn't know what the fuck was making that sound, but it was your dog.
Just
No, that was your dog.
Oh.
any outside forces.
It sounded far away.
Where my Like
Really?
one side is bigger than the other. I don't know. It's weird.
Right. I know. I was gonna say that. I want to differentiate something there. I want to differentiate the difference between meditation and visionary state. There are two states I actively talk about and we'll be talking about within this forum, and that's meditation and being in a meditative state and being in a visionary state. They are two different things. And when I use the terminology visionary state, I'm talking about astral projection. I'm talking about leaving your body. I'm talking about opening up your mind and your spirit and your third eye and journeying into those other realms. The three realms are working with your spirits. So the visionary um, state is different from being in a meditative state where you're just focusing on your breath and you're focusing on your environment and getting connected with and grounded in yourself. And there is no right or wrong way to meditate. You can meditate while you're washing your goddamn laundry or while you're washing your motherfucking dishes. You can meditate while you're taking a walk, while you're driving your car, although it's not recommended because you can have an accident. But people can meditate while they're doing just about anything. And so that's why. What's up, baby? Yeah, well, I want everybody to remember that there's a difference between the meditative state and the visionary state. The meditative state is the state that you're going to go into prior to going into the visionary state. It might be, if you're a psychic medium, you might be able to go straight to the visionary state. Those people that are clairvoyant or have the ability to see spirit or talk to spirit or receive messages will go directly to the visionary state. But most people need a little bit of 5 minutes or so.
No, me and Persephone go to Starbucks and then we go straight to astral planing. I don't know what you're talking about.
Do you know what I'm saying? So some people need to be able to calm themselves enough to be able to go into visionary state, but you have to decide what that is. It could be masturbating, it could be driving in a car, it could be doing your dishes, it could be sitting on your cushion in front of your statue of Buddha or whatever it is. But I just want to remind everybody that it's all the same shit. It's all the same shit. It doesn't matter how many cultures and how many ethnic backgrounds and how many different traditions or what that we're talking about. It's all the same shit. In every single culture, it's the same stuff. It just has different names, different images associated with it, different tribal associations. But when we're talking about meditation and the visionary state, we're talking about two states of consciousness, and it's universal to everyone in every religion, in every spiritual practice. And the way to really start working on opening up your visionary state is working on your dreams and lucid dreaming. There's a technique I want to give you to help you dream or try to get more lucid dreams. And then also there's a technique that's done, like Kat was just talking about the driving scenario, where you're sitting there and you're imagining yourself like driving a car. Or you can actually, this is fucked up, but I've done it before, and this is what you reminded me of about that, is that you can go lay down tonight when you go to sleep. If you want to do an experiment, why don't we all do an experiment tonight? All of us who are in the room tonight, and then we can report back on this in the lucid dreaming section channel of this Discord. which is as you go to sleep tonight, try to like focus on driving a car. Try to put yourself in the first person. Try to lay on your back, and as you're starting to relax and starting to go to sleep, just kind of hold the image or the thought. I know that you said that if you have a situation where you can't visualize with the brain, that's not it. Whatever it is that reminds you of driving a car, holding onto the wheel, or imagining like your window being open and feeling the breeze as you're driving. But try to fall asleep in that state of mind, thinking about driving, and see whether or not you end up driving in your dreams. Because there's a way to be able to slip into the dream state and cross over those conscious thoughts into the dream state. Has anybody ever seen the movie Inception with Leonardo DiCaprio? It's my favorite movie of all time. We're gonna watch that movie in Inception. Inception is like my favorite movie because he really talks about planting in someone's subconscious mind an idea or a thought that is going to lead them to very real world actions. It's the same thing when you're getting ready to go into your dream state. You need to talk to your subconscious mind and program into your subconscious mind the things that you want to do while you are sleeping. So my exercise for you is 5 minutes before you go to sleep. If you're not going to do the scenario where you're driving in your mind as you're falling asleep, put your hands in front of your face about 5 minutes before you go to sleep and look at your hands. Look at your nails. Look at your ring and focus on your hands and tell yourself, tonight when I sleep, I'm going to see my hands in my dreams. Tonight when I sleep, I'm going to see my hands in my dreams. And do that every fucking night until you actually are able to see your hands in your dreams. You don't do it once. If it doesn't work once, you do it every fucking day until you make it happen. You have to program the concept into the subconscious mind, and then when you start sleeping, you're going to have to remember, you're going to recall, I'm supposed to do something. Oh, I'm supposed to look at my hands. I would recommend everybody try to make that happen. That is a psychic development exercise for increasing your perception and awareness inside your dream state.
Damn, JoJo, you scared the shit out of me. Did you get it up? Did you hack it up? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Tobacco makes me dream. Cigars make me dream like crazy.
Myself, personally, as an individual, I've stopped really having dreams unless it's like deja reverie, where like you dream it and then you see it in like the waking world. We used to call it visions and stuff, but I would have these dreams where, like a few days later, a few months later, and it's like the same thing I see in my dream happening all the time. But I've not had like an actual solid dream in like months now, but it's been like that for years now. But a part of that is like I did. It wasn't a ritual, but I used to suffer from recurring nightmares. So when I first got into Wicca, I perceived the energy associated with the mother, the feminine, the lady, and I asked her to remove my nightmares. And that's basically like removed all my dreams, except for the very few odd ones, or the deja reverie. And I thought about undoing that again, trying like ask for them back. I don't know if that would work, but I've tried the herbs and stuff. No herbs work for me anymore.
Yeah.
Like I even done smoking blend, they don't work for me anymore.
You need to go back and talk to the lady because one of the psychic development exercises that I tell people to do is once you create that ancestor altar, that ancestor shrine, because you guys know that most of all of the work I do is based in ancestor work. if you have like that shrine or that place where you communicate with your spirits or your angels or your ancestors or whatever it is that you're working with, we'll just put it that way. You know, sitting there and actively communicating and talking to the spirit and saying, you know, tell them what you need emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually, and put in the petition, put in the request for dreams, that you want to have visionary dreams, or you would like to have your dreams back, or you want to dream more. And
Damn, JoJo.
for the dream.
Scaring the shit out of me.
Because there is a part of your subconscious mind that's going to get triggered if you program it. And that's just science. That's neuro-linguistic programming. It's NLP. If anybody has never read the book by Anthony Robbins, Unlimited Power, you need to read that book. I read the book Unlimited Power by Anthony Robbins when I was 13 years old, and I went on to conquer the world. Not in a very good way, but I definitely recommend that you check out that book. And also a book called Prometheus Rising by Robert Anton Wilson. Those two books will help you a lot.
Can you put those in like book recommendations in the chats?
Yes.
No, you started it. You don't huff. You put it up there.
Let me tell you something. There's a book everyone in this room should have. It's a $3 book. You can only read it on Kindle. It's a Kindle book. It does not print. It's called A Shamanic Journey, A Beginner's Guide to Journeying by Jerry Starnes. GERYSTARNES. And it's a great book. It's very simple. This guy is obscure. You might have never heard about him before in your life. But this motherfucker knows what he's talking about. And he gives the best breakdown and simple description of how to sit down, meditate, and actually stop. Out of every motherfucking book I've ever read on this shit. So I'm going to post these things right now. Did I tell you about that book? What did you think? Did you like it?
I'm not done with it yet, but yeah, I'm loving it so far.
Can you tell me something about it, or something in the book, or did you find something specifically helpful? So
I
far?
haven't yet. No, I've just started it because I ordered the other one that you told me by oh shit, hang on, let me grab it. It's about shamanism or ancestral by Daniel Ford.
Oh, ancestral medicine.
Yeah. So I've been reading on that one. I'm loving it.
That's not an easy read. That's not an easy read. It takes effort to get through that. What did I just say? I said Prometheus Rising by Robert Anton Wilson. And I said
I have a recommendation for Bohemian.
do it.
If that's your name. Hang a satchel of dried hibiscus flowers next to your bed. Like, put them in a little cloth. I hang them by my bed, and it helps with my dreams a lot. Like, I have the craziest dreams. For someone who has aphantasia, I have the most vivid, gnarliest dreams. And that, I don't know if it works for everyone. I read it somewhere. I don't know if it's true, but it has helped me have my dreams more consistently. Hibiscus flowers.
Do you know? I don't have access to hibiscus flowers right now. I'm not full of the seasons or moment, so I don't have hibiscus flowers anymore. Do you know if Rose of Sharon, which is a species of hibiscus, the hardy hibiscus, if that would be a good substitute, or if I should stay away?
Tell them to try it.
Try it.
Try it.
You just said, which book just said try it?
Go to your plant store. I got a giant bag of dried hibiscus for $3.
Wow.
Yeah. They're not here either, but I think they're all dried with tons packed full. So check it out.
We have to try that. Thank you.
Hey, Ryan, the shamanic journey, did you say it's Jerry Starnes?
I just posted the cover of the book in the witchy book section, and yeah, it's STARNES is the last name.
I have a question for Bohemian Bear, and that is, what are your sleep habits like? Are they regular, you know, like 8 hours a day, or very erratic?
My sleep pattern has always been erratic. It's never been consistent. As of now, I have a tendency not to fall asleep until like almost 4 or 5 in the morning. I won't wake up till almost noon to 1 o'clock.
Okay. I need to do a luck and prosperity spell, but it's a candle. I have to disguise it as a regular candle.
sleep patterns are terrible. My eating
All right.
habits are terrible. Out of time, out of sequence, and it started before I retired, but that's a factor. But when I do go to sleep, I usually have multiple dreams in succession, and they can be pretty intense. And if I pay attention, they have some meaning. So I'm not going to recommend that being sleep deprived is a solution for you, but because most people would say that's terrible.
Well, actually, Grant, there is a technique to induce lucid dreaming, which is a technique, everybody, if you want to try this. I don't try it because I don't want You basically set your alarm for like 3 o'clock in the morning. 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, or about 2 or 3 hours. At least 2 or 3 hours before you wake up to work. So let's say you go to sleep at 11 o'clock at night or midnight, usually, and you wake up around 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning, usually. What you would do is you would set your alarm for 5 a.m. or 4 a.m. and it would go off, and you would get up and you would actually walk around, pee, drink some water or something, keep yourself alert for about 15 or 20 minutes, and then lay back down and go back to sleep. There's something about that in the brain that triggers the dream response, and people claim that they're able to like have lucid dreams when they fuck with their brain like that, because you're basically fucking up your brain patterns. Another thing that they said to do, another technique, I wouldn't want to do this.
By the way, this
just
is
to drink
the
a lot of fluid
glasses
before you go to sleep so that you
from
wake up frequently throughout the night,
Wee
or urinate,
Yogurt.
or you wake up in the middle of the night and have to pee.
Okay.
Pee and come back and lay back down, and when you
So,
go back to sleep, it facilitates lucid dreaming. That's just 2 more techniques that I heard about.
this yogurt.
Yeah, keep talking.
You drink a lot of water, so you wake up throughout the night.
Yeah, keep talking.
I then have found that if I do have a dream, I wake up from that dream, I go do my business. When I go back to sleep, I will pick up in that dream. My dream will continue onward. Now, I don't know if that is lucid dreaming, because I've not really had luck with like, controlling dreams or anything. Like, I know my twin brother, he's very lucid dreaming. He talks about how in his dreams he can like change the channel, as it were, in his dreams and like change it. For me, it's like a set path, and I can't do anything about it whatsoever. Unless I wake up, but when I go back to sleep, I pick up immediately back to the dream. I feel like because, or like that's the thing, and immediately go back to sleep.
I experience the exact same thing. If I wake up from a dream, I go back to bed, I try back. Even if I try my hardest, like I don't want to go back there, I'm back. It's weird. I am the same as you. Weird.
You guys are lucky. I'm never able to do that. It really wants to get back to this dream.
It's always lucky for me, because sometimes I sit back in and I feel like something is really messed up. My dreams when I have nightmares are horrid. Like, they're really messed up.
I've learned to a degree to control my dreams, and one of the things is to try and remember, try to tell yourself that you're dreaming. So, if a dream is starting to get a little screwy, try to remember to tell yourself, that this is a dream, it's not reality, and try to wake yourself up, and that will reset. There might be occasions where I want to, I get up and I might want to continue with the dream I left off, but I found that control has to do with being aware that you're
I don't know yet.
and then you can wake yourself up out of a bad situation.
See, I've done that, and even then, it just, when I wake up, it just picks up and continues. Like, it just won't.
Whoops.
It just, like, won't.
Oopsie. gonna be a super strong smelling candle.
No joke, that is like a spider woman, it's a spider demon from Japanese mythology. And like I was being chased down by this thing, getting pulled through like these portals of water and stuff. Like she was fucking my shit up. Like she was outright like messing and twisting with my mind.
So when you go lucid, you should have basically godlike powers to control everything. So in your case,
your best
maybe
friend.
instead of trying to wake up, just like blast her with a fireball or something. Because you should be able to have
She is.
control of
She's right about that one, though.
when you go lucid.
I pushed her like away, like mentally, and she just like turned it to like you are moving through solid wooden surfaces. Like this dream got really intense.
Let me
I
give
have a
everybody.
question. Are you into like really creepy stuff? Like, is that your thing? Like the spider lady? Because I never have had a nightmare in my entire life, and I'm not into like spooky or like weird creepiness. So maybe it's like it's creeping in on you.
The thing is, I am into that creepy thing, into like creepy stuff. I do like spidery things, but this is from like, that's like childhood. Like my mom talked about how when I was just a baby in a crib, I would just sit there and I'd watch the spiders in the corner of the bedroom weaving their webs. Like we were out on a walk, I would find the nearest bush, I would just sit down and I would watch the spiders spinning their webs in the bushes. Like
I
to
used to
keep
do
track
that.
of like the creepy things that people typically avoid, snakes, spiders, lizards. I was that kid that had a fascination with those, and that's like lifelong. That has been my entire life. So it's like avoiding those things anymore is almost like an impossibility. And like it was even to a point where I was in kindergarten. I was like a 4-year-old, and I found a book on Egyptian mythology and mummification. I brought this book home for my mom to read me on how to mummify a human corpse. And I was like,
Everybody, I just want you to know that there is a channel here on Discord called Lucid Dreaming, and there is a gentleman in there. I posted 4 YouTube videos. The guy's name is Robert Wagner or something. It's not Robert Wagner. It's spelled differently. It's not Wagner. It's spelled differently.
Man, that took way too much
This
effort.
guy is my motherfucking idol. He is my idol. He started practicing lucid dreaming when he was 13, 14 years old. He picked up a book in some shop that talked about how to lucid dream. And he went home and he started practicing the techniques of lucid dreaming or inducing more conscious dreaming. That means if you're in a lucid dream, let's define what a lucid dream is. A lucid dream is when you are working as a free agent in your dream. You have control over the dream. You have the ability to interact with consciously and also manipulate the dream space. That is lucid dreaming. This guy started practicing this stuff, and he's done it his entire life. And you just need to listen to his interviews. There's 4 interviews posted in one video about him giving a lecture on lucid dreaming. He is the motherfucking expert on this stuff. He's written books about lucid dreaming. You gotta check him out. But if you want to get real deep, really deep into dream work, there's a book. And it's called The Tibetan Yogas of Dream and Sleep. And if you are serious about dreaming, and you're serious about like spiritual development through dreaming, you need to get the Tibetan Yogas of Dream and Sleep. The indigenous religion of the people of Tibet prior to the coming of Buddhism in India and up in China was Bon. It's not pronounced Bon. That's my stupid ass cracker English, American English trying to refer to it, but it's B-O-N. It's got 2 little dots over top of the O, but it's the Bon tradition, the shamanic tradition, the shamanism practice by the people of Tibet and the indigenous practices. And when Buddhism migrated up into Tibet and the people of Tibet embraced the Buddhist message,
I'm making a luck and prosperity candle, but it has to be disguised. This is a young person that lives with their parents, and so this has to be disguised as a regular pretty candle, just a smelly good candle.
But Tibetan Buddhism has a shamanic actually tells you, teaches you techniques that these mystics have practiced in order to get in control over their dreams. And I'll post a picture of the cover of that book for you guys. But that is, if you're serious about going into the dream space, because the purpose of lucid dreaming is not just to like be able to fly in your dream. To a Buddhist monk who practices shamanic dreaming, it's about being able to do spiritual work in your dreams and preparing yourself for the time of death. Because it's believed in Buddhism, at the time of death, there is a period of time in which the spirit becomes disoriented leaving the body. And in Buddhism, one of the practices by meditating on the action of death in the body is to be able to release yourself from the body at death and not get stuck in purgatory, not get stuck in bardo, don't get stuck as a earthbound spirit. So lucid dreaming actually is very, very connected to being able to move around in spirit in the afterlife. So it's not just one thing. Lucid dreaming, you can also meditate in your lucid dreams. You can do a lot of spiritual things in your lucid dreams that you can't in real life. You can practice magic. Whenever ceremonial magicians learn how to pick up the wand and pick up the dagger and pick up the chalice and go to the east and go to the north and create ritual space, do you think you do why do you think you're working with all those tools? Those magicians that practice that particular tradition, we use these physical tools in real life so that when we go to sleep and we dream and we go into the lucid dream space, we go to our astral temple and we replicate all of the things that we do in the physical space in the astral and also in the dream world. So I don't know if you guys know that or not. The purpose of using tools in magical ritual isn't just because a wand look nice or a dagger looks nice, and all these other motherfucking morons on TikTok that want to say, oh, you don't need anything but intention to practice magic. No, that's bullshit.
Bullshit.
You have to have things to practice magic.
Look, my flame looks pink.
Witchcraft. Why? Because one of the techniques is being able to project yourself into the astral and do all of the things that you do in the physical and the astral. You go to the astral temple, and if you haven't started doing your astral temple, so that you can project. Yeah, you can get stuck in purgatory. Oh no. You can't get stuck. As long as the physical body is alive, the spirit will always snap back to the body. The physical body has to die to get stuck in the astral. But you don't have to worry about traveling too far out into the astral. You can travel as far as you want. You will snap back to the body. It might be very jolting, but you will come back to the body until the physical body actually dies. So don't worry. You're not going to get lost, and you're not going to get lost that way.
Well, I've never done it. I don't know how. I've never listened to it because I always thought you could get stuck.
Yeah, well, that's why I'm telling you. Buy the book, The Shamanic Journey and Beginner's Guide to Journey that I just posted. You have that, read that, because those little techniques that he tells you to do, those are the beginners. That's like dipping your toe into the
Oh, are you okay?
water.
Sorry, Jojo. I'm sorry.
But it's A Beginner's Guide to Journey by Jerry Starnes. I don't know if you have to say one because it's just a Kindle book. I do not believe it's an audiobook. I posted a picture of it in the Witchy book section, so go later and check it out and see whether or not that's the book. I'm just saying that for anybody who's afraid of astral projection or traveling astrally, get that book. Because that book is kind of like a very, very, very good explanation to beginners about how this process goes and how to do it.
One of the things I like actually, what was it, like years ago when I actually traveled like ahead in time to a place where I would be happy, where I had what I needed and wanted. And how I did it was I did it in the dark, and I just like felt it out until I found what I was looking for. And then I remember waking up really fucking angry because I was like, I wanted to stay there.
Yep. And getting back to sex magic for a second,
pervert.
is that you can actually really open up the astral and travel in the astral when you're in a I travel the most when I'm sleeping high on weed and when I'm masturbating. Those are two visionary states that I can get into where I can really go really deep into the practice and go really far out there in those two states. And I recommend finding any activity that's going to put you in a visionary space where you can just allow yourself to relax and kind of like you journey all the time. It's called daydreaming. Daydreaming is a form of astral projection and travel. You just don't think about it. Whenever you're driving driving on the road, and a memory is a memory. But whenever you think about, you're thinking about talking to a friend, or what you're going to be talking about with a friend. Or let's say you're driving to Nashua because you want to go to the car dealership because you're looking for a particular kind of car. You're manifesting that. You're thinking about that car. What do I want in that car? Well, I want it to be like automatic. I want it to be red. I want it to have brand new tires on it. I don't want it to be older than 5 years if it's a used car. You have to apply that same technique to the magic. It's that same stuff. It's the same mechanism. Practicing magic. It's just more, there's just more intention there. And you amplify those feelings, those thoughts, and those impressions by 100 times when you're doing astral journey than if you were just like sitting thinking about, well, I'm going to go to a store. I'm going to give you guys an exercise to do. I'm going to teach you how to astrally travel. I'm going to teach you how to do it right now. Very in order to go somewhere and come back. You have to. Actually, we're all going to astrally project ourselves right now. Everybody ready? Here, let's do a little exercise in astral projection. Get ready. Yee. Ready to astral project. Very simple. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. If you're at home, and I think most people are at home right now, or just like you should be at home. If you're even if you're not at home, you can still. What we're gonna do is we're gonna all take a nice deep breath. Whoosha. Now we're gonna close our eyes. Everybody close your eyes. If you are scared of closing your eyes, but just pay attention to where you are right now and whatever room you're in right now. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to think about your bathroom. I want you to go to the bathroom right now. I want you to see your bathroom in your mind's eye. Or if it's not in your mind's eye, I want you to pretend that you're in your bathroom. And I want you to see everything in your bathroom. The counter, the toilet, the shower curtain, the shower, whether or not you have here and there to wash your hair, the towels. I want you to look into the mirror. I want you to look up and I want you to see what you're feeling. I want you to really feel present in your bathroom, whatever that bathroom is. And I want you to sit with that for a second. And then when you're ready to attach yourself from your bathroom, come back to your present moment, back to where you are right now. Open your eyes, take a deep breath in. Congratulations. You just actually projected yourself into your bathroom. That is how we learn how to actually project. And if we get more complex in your astral projection, what you can do when you get more advanced is you can sit in a chair or sit on a couch, close your eyes, take a deep breath, and keep your eyes slightly open, and from the first person stand up out of your chair, get your keys, walk out your front door, get in your car, and drive yourself to work, and drive yourself all the way back from work. But you have to do it in the first person. You have to do it as a person who is in the reality, just like a virtual reality game. You have to be standing present in the first person for it to be the most effective and astrally travel. And anything that is not happening in first person to me is not astrally traveling and astrally projecting. You have to be in first person to be experiencing that. It's not like I'm hovering over top of my bed and I'm looking at my body. It's not. It's that all that kind of stuff is different. It's just a little different. Does that make sense? Does anybody have any questions, comments, objections? bathroom. But, what's beautiful about the mind is that, we have the ability to be in the future. We have the ability to be in the past. We have the ability to be in the present. Our mind is non-local. It can travel in time. Our mind can travel through time. We can also be anywhere in the world we want to be. I could be sitting right here in South Carolina, and I can astrally project myself back to Brattleboro, Vermont, and I can be standing in my room with my spirits and performing ritual and doing what I need to do in my head, in my mind, when my spirit goes to do whatever it needs to do. That is the goal of spiritualism, and that is the goal of psychic ritual. You should be able to do everything you want to do in your mind.
I have a question. What about in your dream when somebody comes to visit you? Because I had a dream a couple weeks ago. You and Mrs. Foot both came to visit me, but Mrs. Foot was drunk.
I will visit in the astral. I don't know what I do. That's my higher self.
You were getting somewhere, and she told me that she was from La Habra, and it was really weird because
So I had some extra left. So I'm going to let this set in here, and then this will be sold as a wax melt, a prosperity wax melt.
Oh my God.
hanging out, and it felt so real. It was just so bizarre.
I'm so sorry. Neither one of us intentionally make dream visitations on anyone.
I go see people all the time. I ain't got no control.
Wherever they go, all over the place. That wasn't intentional. Well, Mrs. Foot doesn't really drink, and I don't know if it has any meaning or not.
I just wonder if those people like use the Bible to see something.
Oh. Okay. You're talking about when people show.
Visit my friend Liz in order to date my dream.
Yeah, probably, maybe, yeah. I mean, because you're dealing with a different dimension. You're dealing with a different space. The weirdest dream I think I ever had was when I had a dream, and it was recently, where I was like in this point in time in my life, but I was seeing it played out in 5 different scenarios. So I was actually dreaming in this space, in this dimension, but I was seeing myself in about 5 other dimensions right now at this point in time in the other dimensions. And depending on what path you are, like right now, in this lifetime, you're experiencing reality like this. But if you've been here before, or maybe this is you're repeating history somehow, or you're running in parallel dimensions with one another, if you have many selves that are running through different dimensions, different paths, I kind of have that thing where like I kind of looked over here and I saw myself doing what I'm doing now that was different, and I looked over there and I saw one of my other selves
Hey, Jaded.
doing the same thing, and it was different. And so little things change, like the car wasn't the same car in every dimension, and the apartment that I was living in wasn't in every single dimension.
Can you finish? I did half the dishes. Can you finish?
Still teaching dance, and then like in another dimension, I was, I don't know, doing something else. Those are the fucked up dreams that I have, where I'm like all over the place in a whole bunch of different dimensions. Those are difficult to navigate. Yeah, I probably have visited you. If you're my friend, I've probably come to say hello at some point in time.
I did half. Did you do half? Or do like everything but the pot and pan. I'll do the pans. That's what I just watched.
Yeah. That's awesome.
I've been visited by a past beloved friend. She was then considered a family friend. It was very odd. It was a very she was a practitioner as well. The last time it was when briefly
I don't want to do that one tonight.
practicing the doctor stuff. And then a year later, she died a very tragic death.
Okay.
And
Hold on. I'm gonna see what my next thing is.
it was literally like a year ago. I had this dream. There's like I woke up
Oh no, that's me.
from my bed
Hold on, this is me reading. Hold, please.
And she was like the same as knowing her. I could like even see
Base.
incense that she would burn. But she had a hole in her stomach. Now that's not how she died. She never died of any kind of physical injury in
Cord
that.
cutting herbs.
I've tried to research like spirits that would have had that. I know.
Oh, okay, I remember this one.
Trying to look up, Buddhist spirits where
Cord cutting.
that's
Okay.
punishment or something, where they're not here anymore.
The hungry ghost.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, so there's a particular spirit in Buddhism. It's got a very, very big mouth and a big, big, big belly and a very skinny, skinny, skinny neck. Like
I'm gonna do a psychic cord cutting.
that they try to eat and they try to drink, and as hungry as they are, they're not satisfied because the neck is so small they can't get food down their throat. That is, but that's a particular kind of spirit.
I interpreted it as you died instantly.
So it was like we were seeing the same spirit of our beloved friend, and she even told me, like, if I ever needed her, I can call her name through using Elder Boothorpe. She said Elder Boothorpe, and she said, invoke my name when needed. And she, like I said, she had this like hold in her. I thought, like you mentioned Hungry Ghost, I thought about that, but she didn't have like a skinny neck or like a large.
Yeah, I think we did with that thing.
She was
But
normal, just
anyway.
I've always known her. It was just the whole through her.
It's
What?
wet anyway.
I just had no idea what that was or why that would have been. And maybe it might have had something to do with her death. She died tragically partly of an OD on heroin and head trauma. She died in a way where she couldn't be saved, where like her roommates at the time, if they weren't high on their asses, they could have alerted authorities to come and get her.
A person who ODs is their fault.
She died passing up, hitting her head on the counter and bleeding out on the floor.
Oh no, that's terrible. Well, it sounds like
I can't remember what caused that thought. I have no idea, but it was like a touching moment.
so. There's a thing about dreams that are very important in my practice that I like to share with people, which is dream recall and dream interpretation are two different things, and you need to distinguish between the practices and how you go about doing things so that you're not confused. Like when you keep a dream journal beside your bed at night.
Oh, that's my song.
It's great for dream recall. It helps you remember your dreams. It helps you become more lucid in your dreams. If you wake up in the middle of the night and you've had a dream, you write it down. Or if you have a tape recorder or a phone that you can like talk about the dream into your phone and record it, do so. When you wake up first thing in the morning, write down anything you remember about your dreams, or voice record it. This will help you be more aware of your dreams, more present in your dreams. It's a dream recall device. It helps you become more lucid. There's something called dream interpretation, where you actually sit down and you try to decipher out what these messages actually mean. I want to say this, and if it pisses people off, it pisses people off. No one can interpret your own motherfucking dreams for you. I don't care who you are. I don't care what kind of intentions you have. No one can interpret your dreams for you. Because what means something to someone does not mean something to somebody else. Not unless 2 people, 5 people, or 10 people all have these same dreams with the same features in it, that you guys need to sit down and like go into your think tank and talk about what kind of shared dream experience that you had. If you guys wanted to, we could do some shared dream experience exercises. Anybody who's interested in doing a dream work, such as like tonight, everybody, what were we supposed to do in our dream tonight? Go to sleep driving. Good. But no one can interpret your dreams for you, so I never dare try to interpret someone's dreams for someone else. Also, be careful about past life stuff. A lot of people are into like past life stuff and past life regression and all of that stuff. Mrs. Foot has a very strong feeling about it. My feelings are not as intense, but I do want to say past life stuff doesn't mean shit. Your past lives don't mean shit in this life. That's why being present in your life in the moment is crucially important for your spiritual development. Not hanging out somewhere in the past, not thinking about all of your past lives. It does not matter what you did in your past lives. None of your past lives matter.
I like
The
when
only thing
people
that
go
matters right
venturing
now
in their
is what's
past
going
lives
on
because
in
it
your
gives
life
me
right now.
satisfaction
In my
that they're dumb
tradition,
enough
there's a
to
reason why
restart a
you
new
forget your
life.
past lives. For one thing, it would be impossible for you to remember all of your past
I'm
lives.
like, oh, you were Egyptian back in the
It'd
day?
be impossible for you to be able to function as a human being and also be walking around with memories from the past
Brings a
100,
great
200
satisfaction.
million lifetimes that you've had.
Another issue with it is the practitioner that, well, not practitioner, the person that does it can cause more harm than's good. I went through in 2007, I think it was, and I walked out of there with anxiety, like full-blown anxiety attacks. Couldn't get rid of it because they brought me out of the meditation too quickly, or the hypnosis too quickly.
Mom brings me
Had
back
nothing
into
to do with my
reality
past
too quickly,
lives.
like an asshole.
They left that a part that wasn't there before. So you have to be careful.
And you don't even be fucking trying.
If you are gonna.
Sorry.
I'm not shitting on anybody who's into past lives and past life readings and things. I'm
I
just saying that your
Can you
past
give me the
lives
oil
have
that's spelled
zero
like this?
relevance in your spiritual
Camphor.
development today.
Camphor.
And your magical abilities, like how powerful
It might say
you
white
are.
camphor.
It doesn't matter what you were in a past life. Every single time you're born and reborn, you get a fresh start. This is a do-over. You start over. So don't think that by knowing what you did in all your past lives and who you were and blah 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 and I was queen of denial and everything else, that's helping you in your spiritual path. This
I have a
time.
question that kind of ties into that.
I should.
Do you believe that there is like the people that are in your life are in all your lives and they switch roles?
No.
Switch parts? I've heard that you have like a
Lindsay
group
thinks
of
that.
15 to 30.
I do believe that. It's not 15 to 30. It's like more like it's a multitude of people. So in West African spirituality, we have this concept of soul tribes and soul groups. That actually is a very, very, very old concept.
It's there, but that's not
people who did
how it
new
works.
age, this new age bullshit and all this other like psychism and stuff that happens. Like,
How would you learn anything if you were with the same people every time you were reborn?
Spiritualism, like at the turn of the century in the Victorian era, the spirits were coming through and talking about the spiritual world. They were describing a lot of things that
Come on, psychic, 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 come on.
has been teaching.
I know this. I'm having a moment, but I already know it.
We have soul tribes or soul groups that we come here from other places.
Daffodil. I
That could be
mean,
anywhere. It could be
dandelion.
It could be Venus. It could be Saturn. It could be somewhere across the other side of the universe.
No, I don't.
Whatever. But there's this idea that we travel in clusters and groups of people, and some of us get incarnated.
You travel in the
side.
spirit world
And they
in clusters and
incarnate, they're
groups,
on the other side, which is another place the concept of
but not
spiritual
here.
guides come from. That's another place. That's another origin.
Hold on, I'm looking at my psychic stuff, so just hold on.
Or the spiritual core. That you're walking through
I
life,
don't have
that
eyeball.
you have compadres in the spiritual that are. Turn off your microphone if you're not actively talking, please, so that we don't hear bullshit in the background. Thank you. The concept is that, yes, other people don't believe that, that's fine, I don't care. I don't care what other people believe. I'm just saying
My hair is going
that in
through
my
its phase
tradition,
now.
we
Look
believe
at it.
that there are soul tribes.
Look at this shit.
Walking one another.
Yeah, but yours looks normal because it's what you're eating, doesn't it?
No, yours looks normal. Yours is just a lot thicker than mine.
Soul tribe. But we just ended up finding one another. We just ended up in this place. It might be that we are part of a soul tribe that found each other and we created a little community for each other.
That sounds like cult talk.
Yeah, it is a cult. We are. Oh, this is a cult. We're a cult.
It's Macklefresh. I got an add-on question that relates to this pretty well.
Jaded BF.
So my
Yeah, I'm doing nothing but smoking weed and drinking coffee.
and making the house.
So my question
That
I
stuff
have
is very strong.
is
But
sort
it
of,
still don't
so
smell as
I
bad as that
was,
skunk weed you
I
smoke.
had
Good
an
lord.
experience where I was helping someone who had a difficulty letting go of a relationship. This was a different group, and I suggested a cord cutting spell, but then someone intervened and said
Lemongrass?
that no, their cord cutting spell wouldn't work because they have past life karmic trauma attached to it. So
Not
I'm guessing
karmic
that that's not true
trauma.
at all, right?
Okay, so look, hold on.
Not karmic
Say that
trauma.
karma. Okay, all right. So can I just look? Remember, everybody, I have to put a disclaimer on every fucking thing I say about magic and philosophy and religion. That this is coming from my personal. This is coming from my personal. And this is also the teaching of Alan Watts. And if you know who Alan Watts is, he was a very, very
1, 2, 3,
Anglican
4.
minister who became an interpreter of Buddhism to the West, which is the concept of karma is this, okay? It's you reap what you sow. So it is your action has a reaction.
Lotus.
Every action has a reaction. That there is a when you do something, say something, go somewhere, any action that you do is going to have some kind of ramification.
I'm gonna come over there when you're done. Tell me when you're done.
I want to finish what I have.
I said, tell me when you're done.
So, karma to me is the law of cause and effect. It's a universal law. It's something that keeps the balance of the universe. It's one of the mechanisms the universe has in place to keep itself balanced. But as far as this concept of karmic traces and stuff, West African spirituality doesn't have that kind of concept that, like, say, Hinduism or Buddhism has. There's Western and Eastern.
Oh, I got marshmallow root.
Reincarnation. Western reincarnation concepts traditionally is that you live, you die, when you die you go back to where you came from, and then when you get the opportunity, you come back and then you live again.
Marshmallow root.
Where you come from. And it's an ongoing process between being alive and being dead. And in African spirituality, reincarnation is a good thing. It's a positive thing. It's not something that's bad. It's not something that's frowned on. It's not a punishment. Yeah. It's good to be alive. And the concept is reincarnating, and every time you reincarnate, becoming another person is a good thing. Every time you reincarnate, elevating your stature in life and your social position is a good thing. So reincarnation is a positive, healthy thing. It's the way the universe keeps us fresh and new and immortal forever, just like the earth. So,
I'm coming.
okay, Mrs. Foot is coming because she's got something to say about the whole karmic thing, and
Be right
just
back.
realize that some of me and Mrs. Foot's philosophies don't necessarily align with one another, but we never disagree with one another.
Karma does not go by individual. Okay? Period. This is why people can rape and murder and slaughter children and live long, happy lives. Okay? I can do 87 curses in my life and nothing will happen to me. The universe has to keep balance. The universe has the karmic concept. It does not work per person or per organism. If it did, you would see it around you all the time. These people that do these horrible things and nothing happens to them. Do you know how few of them get caught by the law? Look around you. If you've ever been screwed over or fucked over, those people, it doesn't happen to them. So karma works in a universal way. That's why when people go, oh, the law of three, I'm like, that is a religious tenet of the Wiccan tradition. There's no rule of three. And it does, you can have instant karma. In other words, I can do karma spells that force a life of karma onto a specific person. But karma as a whole, the universe keeps the balance, not individuals. All you gotta do is look around and you'll see it. Look at the people who are the most successful in the world. The 1%. Ain't nothing bad happening to them. And they're gonna die rich. You follow me? So it's not done by individual, and that's not fair, and people don't like it, and so they want it. No, it has to. Whatever you do, you get back. That's not how the world works. Just look around. You can be a good person your whole life and get shit on every goddamn day until you die. Okay? Now, putting out good, when it comes to putting out good and getting back good, that's the law of attraction. That does work. You know what I'm saying? If you surround yourself with good people or people like you and you want to do good, better things will come your way. But it ain't got shit to do with karma. Karma is a universal concept. That's why things aren't fair. And when spiritualists and practitioners, I don't like that it's not fair. Everybody needs to be the same. Go too bad. That's not how the world works. So I just wanted to make that clear because my husband is a little confused on that one.
No, I'm not. I am not confused. I agree with you 100%.
The original question, does that affect the cord cutting spell in the slightest?
No. No. No.
That's what I thought.
No, I said that just because I knew he was going to yell from the kitchen.
Like, I thought it was crazy when I first heard that, and I was like,
I was just
no,
going,
you past life stuff doesn't affect if you're doing a current cord cutting spell. That's not how it works. But this other person was insistent.
Okay.
Clarifying.
If I get started on past lives, I'm just going to cuss everybody out. So I'm going to go back to my life.
Okay, Brian, I want to ask you a question about something you
I-
said about
I-
the past life stuff.
I do, but I just want everybody to know I agree with Mrs. Foot. There's nothing about what she just said that I don't agree with. She's 100% correct.
What?
Oh, wait. Wait, hold your question. Wait, we have many people that have questions, and I have to try to hit them in order. And there's someone up here, Brana.
Okay.
Nana. I'm so sorry that I slaughtered your name just now. You wanted to ask a question, so ask your question,
Okay.
and then everyone else.
So what we're going to do now is a client has a psychic bond with a friend that she needs to sever. He's an addict, and his psychic ability is interfering with her life. Okay? So, in this instance, and I'm going to publish this because I've never seen anybody do this. Okay? So this is what we're going to do. In this instance, we're using the black female. In the Brujeria practice, if you get Botanica statues, black is protective.
I can answer that.
And then, hold
So
on.
that means when you reach the end
Hold,
of
please.
the intellectual journey and meditation on what you experienced and you don't have an answer for it, you walk away from it and let it go. Why? Because not every single dream has a meaning. Most of it.
It's like tend to do that, and then it's like now I don't feel so bad. Alright, peace out.
No. Most of our dreams are just a lot of psychobabble that bubbles up from out of our subconscious mind. And your brain uses dreams to listen to this. Your brain dreams, and
Right.
while it sleeps, processes through information that it cannot process through.
Pay attention to this one if you're interested, because you're.
One of the mechanisms of dreams that helps you.
This is old school, and people don't use it. All right. So we're going to use the black female from the Brujeria. So this is protection in this case. And the man, we're going to use the blue man for communication. Okay. We are not going to dress these candles. Okay. You hear me? We're not going to dress the candles.
Whatever it is. That's the subconscious.
We are going to be dressing the cord.
Trying to process its experience.
That is going to be cut.
That's what I mean.
Okay? Does everybody follow me?
specific and not in your realm of like.
You don't have to have figure candles. You can have regular candles. It's just, I like my figure candles. So it is the actual cord that we're going to dress, because this is what we're going to cut off between them two. Bryson, all right, so we're going to get our length of cord.
Oh, and that's what I was gonna say. If you're someone who is already prone to anxiety or is just wrecked nervously or has PTSD, you should.
And now we're going to do our next.
Because it's like a rabbit hole you fall down and you can't pull yourself out of. So
And
what I'm saying is keeping the dream journal is what that's all for. Writing down and keeping good records of your dreams. Yes, exactly. And then what happens is this is what can happen.
Right.
This is how we get this.
So all the different ingredients that I'm going to use deal with psychic ability, except for this one, lemongrass. Lemongrass is psychic cleansing. Okay, so I'm going to start making the mix. It is lemongrass, marshmallow root, celery seed, arnica flower, and camphor. You can use oil or incense. Since I'm doing the actual cord, I'm going to be using camphor oil. So I don't want any color magic on the actual dressing, so I'm going to be using on the actual cord. You just came across my channel, welcome. Alright. I use, I'll make a post of the two herbalists that I use on eBay. I've been on eBay for at least 15 years. Alright. So, let me make, I need to cut this.
I'm
going to create bombs for myself. So your spirit will create both the obstacles and the opportunities. Almost like, do you guys ever see those mazes that you can slide up the wall and put the wall in a different place? It's like a maze that you can change the maze. And,
use my really fancy magical notebook paper.
It's like the concept of one door closes, two doors open. Which one are you going to walk down? You're constantly getting these opportunities. Depending on the choice.
Don't you love it whenever you take some motivation? Mom tells you to take, and she medication gives you a headache.
I don't know how that had to do with the weed.
No, I took the head medication.
And it gave you a headache? The fuck? Alright. We're going to break a psychic bond. That's what we're doing.
Whatever you think this is, and what your purpose is, and how you're supposed to feel, whatever you think that is, you're probably wrong.
That's the truth.
You are probably 100% incorrect about everything.
We got marshmallow root. Okay. Some celery seed. The reason I pointed out lemongrass is because you have to have that. Okay, you may not have to have, you can use any kind of psychic ingredient, but the lemongrass is what's going to help with the break, because it's a psychic cleansing. We got some arnica flower.
Karma is a way that the universe balances itself out, and how it does. So here's the thing.
Look at quiet.
This is my personal belief system. My personal belief system is that you have to take 100% responsibility for your life. You have to be responsible for your choices and your decisions.
How dare you?
You will reap the consequences of your choices and decisions at some point. And if it was a good decision, it could yield.
And then we're gonna get the lemongrass.
This life or another one. And if you do a lot of shitty
I'm gonna
stuff,
cut these
in
smaller.
this life, it might catch up to you this time around, or it might not. But at the same time, it's not my place to judge. It's nobody's place to judge anybody else's experience when it comes to that. Excuse me, can you go away? You need to go sit over there. Go over there. Go sit down. I believe that karma balances itself out on an individual level eventually.
If y'all don't sit your dog ass down.
That's like what Witchfoot just said. When Jennifer said that you see really, really shitty, horrible people live shitty, horrible lives, and public lives, that they get away with everything, they get away with murder, and they live out the rest of their life all peaceful and shit, like Catholic priests that molested hundreds of kids, and then they get sent back to the Vatican, where they're protected from the law, and they never have to answer to all of their child molestation. They've got the best doctors in Rome taking care of them, and they die these sweet deaths, and they're, die in good standing because they went to confession that Sunday or whatever. You say, what the fuck?
Right.
Or any other person who's really crappy. That harms people on mass amounts of scales and people that harm people on an individual level.
All right.
All that shit
So
itself out eventually.
I'm gonna put this pretty stiff.
But it doesn't. But from the outside, this is the thing. This is a subjective experience. It's from the outside. It doesn't look fair. But why? Sitting around fingering yourself, asking yourself those kinds of questions is not the best use of your time.
I have a question. When you were talking about the soul tribe, and I assume we all reincarnate on Earth every single time. You made it sound like that's not the case. Do we have lives in different places? Not that it matters, but you just blew my mind the way you said it. I was like, what?
All right. In theory, in my universe, in the multiverse I live in, our individual, whoever it is that we are, incarnates in many, many dimensions, in many, many times, in many, many places.
You're always a human.
Many, everything.
Many.
Anywhere the soul decides to travel, wherever it's sent. So, I guess for the Earth realm, or the game we play here on Earth might be different than the game they play on Venus or in another galaxy somewhere. But at least for Earth, as long as you're in this game, running this particular storyline, then yeah, you're going to get reincarnated on Earth.
You turned my brain to mush when you said it. I was like, excuse me, I could take on another.
Hey, once you're dead, you can buy a one-way ticket to some other dimension, and you might never come back. But I mean, having any kind of preconceived notion about what happens is kind of dumb, because then the game wouldn't be exciting, right? Because there'd be no reason to play it. There'd be no motivation to keep
I like my strawberries like this.
progression in this sitcom called life.
I just figured we all came back to do this over and over and over.
They're not too cold
Oh, I
and
hope
they're not
not.
too soft.
I didn't think for a second we could have gone another place. I mean, it's so small-minded.
No, not small-minded.
You blew my mind. When you said that, I was just like,
Well, I mean, the thing is the more you know, right? The only thing that holds you back is yourself.
yeah.
The only
You're so
thing that holds
stupid.
you back from accomplishing what it is that you want to accomplish, magically
What's he even growling at, big baby?
Your biggest, you are your biggest enemy, and it's all about you. You're the only person that matters. At the end of the day, you are.
July come around.
I feel like you told me that they're the color purple, and I've never seen purple before. Like, that's how it felt. I was like, oh, thank you. Like,
So you've seen colors?
That's what happens the more you practice and the more
Yeah.
Do you see
you
color?
work.
You know what I was trying to say.
Things, and then you're like, wow, that's pretty amazing.
Mom's
That's mind-blowing.
colorblind like her dad.
It's almost
But
unheard
that's why
of
the
in
universe
women.
is so
It does
awesome.
happen, but it's almost unheard of.
I've seen color all the time in my sleep.
You know,
No, I meant color blindness in people
Mm.
is almost exclusively
yeah,
Male.
soul tribe.
male.
Usually it's your soul tribe that comes to collect you when everything's done. And when you're done, you go back to the place that you're supposed to.
I can't remember who I was with.
In my,
But they looked
in my-
directly
personally, I feel that people
at the blue
reincarnate in their
shirt
own
we had.
bloodlines.
They were like,
My version of
because I brought it up to
reincarnation,
them and they were like,
the West African
I'm not
concept
wearing a purple
of
shirt. I'm like,
reincarnation,
it's
that
blue,
you
you fucking
reincarnate
colorblind bad.
through your
Well,
descendants.
that's why we will argue over purple and blue. Some eyes see blue and some eyes see purple. When you get to the blue violet color, I always see purple. And a lot of people will see blue. That particular color depends on your eyeball.
First person that took the first breath. So you are in a lineage, and your chromosomes, your
It was like a
DNA,
royal
that spiral staircase is a spiral staircase. It's
I probably would have seen it as purple
so
too.
the idea is that the reason why we duplicate ourselves, replicate ourselves, and continue to replicate ourselves is because we will come back. We will come back again, and when we do, we will come back to our own bloodlines. And a lot of, sometimes your dreams, to go back to dreaming, could be, you could be dreaming as an ancestor. You could be having an ancestor simulation where you are actually, you wake up in a dream and you don't understand what you're seeing, but you see people that are familiar to you, people that you might even see parents. You could have this entire weird dream space where like you're with your brother or your sister or your mother or your great-great-grandmother was there that you never met in your dream. You could be having an ancestor dream where, you know, all of that ancestry DNA in you becomes activated. And you know, there's a very physical activation that happens with spiritual illumination. It's not just something that happens in your mind, it's something that happens on a physiological, everywhere, all over in your nervous system. It's quite physical. So anyone who thinks the spiritual is just spiritual, like outside of the physical reality, they're stupid. Because the physical and the spiritual are together.
He said, "You stupid."
There's no way to get around it. Yin and yang. Reality, what is not reality? What is physical? What is not physical? They go side by side with one another. So when you're talking about spiritual activation and Kundalini yoga, yeah, you're talking about like enlightenment, but there's real physiological things that happen to you when you go through this process. Same thing with ancestor work. If you really get deep into ancestor work over a long period of time and you keep digging farther and farther back into your ancestry and working with your ancestral spirits, you'll learn a lot because you can activate that ancient ancestry, that ancient DNA, and you start having like a lot of experiences. And that's all connected to your physiology, it's all connected to your brain, it's all connected to your DNA, your ancestry, and your nervous system. So the concept of reincarnation in West African spirituality is that we reincarnate through our own bloodlines, through our own children, and grandchildren and great-great-grandchildren. And reincarnation is a good thing, it's not a bad thing. We come here to live this life, we do this thing, we do what we do, and then when we die, we go back to where we come from. That's it. The end. That's the beginning and the end. That's reincarnation. And all this other stuff is like a lot of other stuff and a lot of concepts.
Oh, I was going to ask, does the Soul Tribe family thing relate to dogs and pets and that type of stuff too? Like, would our pets reincarnate into our pets from previous lives or our current pets
No.
and stuff like that? Or do you think that that is a whole different thing?
I don't know. I know that the love of my life Buster, my Buster bear, my ferret, my emotional support pet that passed on me, was one of the most important people in my life. My ferret was one of the most important people in my life. I grieved over my ferret like I grieved over the loss of my grandmother. It took me years to get over it. Now people might think that's real funny. Oh, how could you love a ferret so much? That ferret was special.
That ferret kept you alive.
That ferret kept me alive. He gave me a reason to live. So that ferret was very important to me. And after he died, he came back to me twice in two different dreams. The first time he came back to me, I was having a visionary dream in the spirit. And I actively talked about Sindhis or Nagas. It's a particular kind of spirit, a particular kind of nature spirit that's serpentine in nature. It's a serpent spirit. And I saw a Sindhi that was drinking out of a bowl of water that looked like what would have been Buster's water bowl. And I said, Buster? And this serpent spirit, this Sindhi, popped its head up and looked at me in the exact same way Buster would have. And I said, Buster, come here. And then that spirit took off and just started going like that. And I looked and I was like, oh my God, my pet is here. And then I woke up. But the point is that I felt a very strong presence of my pet in my dream in another spiritual form. Another time he showed up in my dream is I have another ferret. What the hell? What is going on here? Hold on, people. Why is this not working? Because this is not fucking plugged in. Okay. So the point is that I had a dream about my ferret baby. The second ferret I have is a little girl, and her name is Tate, and she has adrenal disease, and that's what Buster died of. Buster died of adrenal disease, and it was.
What the hell is that ferret's name?
That's like there's no other word for it. Traumatizing. His adrenal disease for me, and how he died was one of the most traumatic experiences of my life, and triggered my psychosis and all kinds of other wonderful states in psychiatric wards. And basically, when she got adrenal disease as a little girl, their vulva swells up and they start losing their hair. So hormones start going crazy. So you have to continue to give them hormone treatment. Like every year they get a hormone shot that will, so their hair will continue to grow back and nothing will swell and all of that. But she started losing her hair and she started swelling. She started slowing down. And my friend Chris said, you need to take her to the vet. He said, I know what's wrong with her. I said, she's dying of adrenal disease. I said, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I can go through this a second time. I don't know if I want to try to artificially keep this ferret alive or not. I went through that. Is it fair to an animal to try to prolong its life if the quality of its life is not going to be good? But see, I jumped to conclusions. I went to sleep that night and Buster showed up in my dream. And he was bouncing around, like he bounced around, and I was in my old apartment, and I got up and I chased him because I was always trying to get a hold of him. And when he crawled into his bed, and he curled up in a ball, and I stretched down over top of him, and I went to pet him, and when I went to pet him, he was losing his hair. He had lost his hair in the same places that Tate had lost her hair in my dream. And the message that I got telepathically was, take my sister to the vet. So when I woke up, I called the vet, I made an appointment, I took her in, they gave her the hormone shot, and she is back to having hair, and she's fine for right now, but Buster came back to tell me that I needed to take her to the hospital, because it wasn't her time. If you motherfuckers want to believe that, you can believe it. If you don't, I don't give a fuck. That's what I believe. So that's a dream experience for me. Like I said, that's my experience, and no one can interpret that experience but me. Yes, I do have her. She's still alive. She's just fine, actually.
Yeah.
She's just older.
She's an old lady.
Now, because she's your pet, is she automatically your familiar?
No.
No.
Familiar is almost never your pet.
Mrs. Foot says your familiar is almost never your pet. I would kind of like throw that whole pet scenario into the realm of soul tribes, like Mackerel Fresh did a minute ago. I think that we do have spirit animals or spirits that are animals or incarnate as animals that are with us.
Familiars are non-human spirits.
But familiars are non-human spirits, and they're not. They exist in the spirit realm. They're not.
No, they can take possession of an animal, but it's never a pet.
And they can.
You don't. Well, it's not an animal that you choose. This is an animal that wanders up, an animal you find in the middle of the damn road, in the middle of nowhere. It could be a wild animal that has decided that it likes you.
Are you
But
talking
it,
about familiars?
yes, but it is never an animal that you pick for a pet.
I don't understand this whole concept of familiars, so I'm not really involved in that situation.
I don't either.
I just.
recommend a book called Spiritism.
Oh yeah. Well. So Dr. Daniel Four, in his book Ancestral Medicine, he teaches ancestor work, but he teaches spiritualism. Like it is a real crash course in understanding how to work with entities and spirits, including spirits that you're trying to get rid of, including spirits of place. Like when you go someplace and you encounter spirits that exist in another place, geographically, physically. Ancestral Medicine is the best book that I have found with understanding how to work with spirits.
Okay, thank you.
Because another thing I want to say about Daniel 4 is that he's a Babalao. He is an initiated priest in Ifa, in West African spirituality. And even though that book, Ancestral Medicine, is not about Ifa, the teachings that he teaches or the things that he talks about in that book are based in Ifa. So that's why I recommend it, because his spiritualist leanings are the same as mine.
Being the technical person that I am, of course, I had to go and look up familiar. There is a Wikipedia page for magical familiars.
Tell us what it
There's a
says, Grant.
page for everything.
Tell us what it says.
Okay, hold on a second. It says, in European folklore, the medieval and early modern periods, familiars, sometimes referred to as familiar spirits, were believed to be supernatural entities that would assist witches and cunning folk in their practice of magic. According to records of the time, those alleging to have had contact with familiar spirits reported that they could manifest as numerous forms, usually as an animal, but sometimes as the human or humanoid figure, and were described as clearly defined three-dimensional forms, vivid with color and animated with movement and sound, as opposed to descriptions of ghosts with their smoky, undefined forms. When they served witches, they were often thought to be malevolent, but when working for cunning folk, they were often considered benevolent. Although there was some ambiguity in both cases, the former were often categorized as demons, while the latter were more commonly thought of and described as fairies. The main purpose of familiars was to serve the witch or young witch, providing protection for them as they came into their new powers. And there's more, but that's enough, I think.
Wow, that's so exciting. Isn't that exciting? So yeah.
From what I understand, a familiar has defined you. So
Yes.
it's like a random animal that like walks onto your property and just sort of like sits there, and that becomes your familiar. If given certain conditions, obviously.
That's what Richfoot just said. But yeah. That's the thing is like I don't feel like I have a familiar. I don't designate any of the spirits I work with as familiar.
And not everybody has one
Yeah,
either.
not everybody has it, so I don't think I've ever had one.
I know
5-foot-long black snake staring me in the face. Like, it was raised up, looking me in the eye, like, when I woke up. And then kind of like lowered back down and just slithered away. It was just kind of like, I kind of just like, I kind of fell asleep, was taking a nap, and just suddenly was like, wake up. And it was just like, wow, hi, what are you doing? And then that was like the first thing that came to mind, like, are you familiar?
Familiars stay around, but I would take that as
The spirit there, and I was just kind of, and I see them every so often. I sometimes will find their sheds in the yard, but that was like the most profound, like, close encounter I had with one of these snakes, just like stare me in the face.
Wow.
I had a cat follow me home about 2 miles from a park on my birthday.
there you go.
When I was 16, and I kept that cat for so long, and then eventually just left. But it was with me for like 2
That's a
years.
familiar.
That's a
I
familiar.
know anything about familiars. I don't know.
That's a familiar. That's Jennifer just said that's a familiar.
Yeah, that definitely sounds like a familiar to me.
Yeah, it was my birthday too, and I mean, I crossed intersections and, you know, neighborhoods, and it followed me the whole way. I couldn't believe it. My mom was pissed.
That's so funny. I have I'm for some reason I'm having a bird phenomenon right now. I got a lot of birds. There's a lot of birds coming around for me lately. I know where they're. I feel like I know where they're coming from, but like, I never.
Specific birds or just birds in general?
Birds in general. Yeah, I'm not going to talk about it because it's just too. It's too personal. I don't feel like sharing. But at the same time, I'm seeing there's a lot of birds. I'm getting a lot of bird activity. I don't know what that means. I guess it has to be a particular one singular animal to be a familiar, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So the birds that I'm dealing with have nothing to do with the familiar spirit. Something else. All right, you guys. Well, I'm gonna jump offline because my evening is over for chatting. But you guys are more than welcome to stay in this Discord and chat as long as you want to, and have a good time because that's why this Discord was created for everybody to have a good time. If you want to be followed on TikTok, post your TikTok username in the TikTok channel. And if any of your videos get edited and deleted and taken down because TikTok sucks, come post your videos in the TikTok channel. And then go over and check out the Witchy Book channel to see the book references that I mentioned tonight in our chat. So you guys have a great rest of the night, alright?
See you, Dragon Bars.
Wow, you got a happening Discord. Maybe that's what we want. We want people in our Discord, not on TikTok. We want our cult all in one place. Your cult.
It's not a cult. Not a cult. I'm still on live.
Your people love you. for me? Did this come for me? Or was this extra? Because my phone does not work with this. It's not heavy enough.
Okay, honey.
Here.
I
didn't
bought
know-
you one and I bought Jaded one.
I thought you bought one. I thought you had bought one. And that's what this is, right?
That one's for you,
Yeah.
and then Jaded's got one.
Yeah. So my phone doesn't work with it.
How does your phone not work with it?
Because it doesn't work. It's too, my phones are too heavy for it.
Well, keep using this one. I bought myself a different one.
Wait, hold on. I might be a moron. Hold on. Okay. I can make this work.
Honey,
What?
look at me. I got this one for me.
Uh,
You can continue to use this one. That's what I'm trying to say.
your two dogs are right here laying, and the cat is in the box. The cat is sitting here licking itself in the box. I gotta take a picture of this.
It loves all boxes. Jojo. Really, Jojo? Yeah. Do what?
Taking my contact lenses out. My eyes are. I wanna chew.
All right, I'm gonna let that set overnight. I'm gonna make a TikTok about it. And I am done for the evening. So I wanted to tell everybody I love you, but I'm tired. And I'm done. Okay? My new TikTok is proof underscore of underscore witchcraft. Alright? Love y'all. I'll go sleep now. Bye bye. Bye bye.